Hi, a warm greeting to all of you. Welcome back to BION, the channel that shares knowledge about holistic self-development through books. For the longest time, we've been taught that a strong, lasting love requires both partners to put in equal effort and grow together. Many of you have shared your stories with Better Version, often saying things like, "If only both of us had watched this video, read the same book, and committed to changing together, maybe our relationship wouldn't have ended in regret." We often perceive love as a story written by two people. However, in reality, many find themselves in despair when they realize that no matter how hard they try, their efforts only account for half of the outcome. This is because each person moves at their own pace and has their own unique needs. You may long for your partner to be perfectly in sync with you, but a gap can persist, especially when one person feels they are sacrificing while the other seems to hold all the power, leading to endless conflicts. In the book I am sharing with you today, psychologist Chris Moon presents a profound and different perspective. Intimate relationships are, in truth, your own personal story. If you still believe that love can only survive when both individuals take equal responsibility and change simultaneously, then perhaps you haven't fully grasped the lesson that destiny has specifically designed for you. Throughout this book, the author delivers a powerful message that beautifully blends psychology with Buddhist philosophy. Out there is no one else, only you. He emphasizes that your individual effort alone is enough to transform your marriage and love life for the better. I am temporarily translating the book's title as Intimate Relationships, A Bridge to the Soul. The author posits that your partner comes into your life not by accident, but to help you understand yourself more deeply, heal hidden emotional wounds, and ultimately connect with the most authentic version of who you are. This book will guide you through the essential stages of a relationship journey. From the initial phase of passionate love, through the challenging periods of conflict and near breakdown, to the pivotal choice between living in numbness or pursuing genuine happiness. On this path, I am confident you will discover lessons meant specifically for your own heart. With Valentine's Day just around the corner, I hope this book can serve as a meaningful gift that helps you better understand the landscape of your own heart. And now, let's dive into a sharing from Better Version, titled, How to Achieve Awakening in Love and Marriage Through the Book * Intimate Relationships, A Bridge to the Soul * by Chris Moon. Lesson 1. Escaping the Illusion of Glamour. Today, we're re-diving into a powerful lesson on escaping the illusion of glamour and returning to our innately complete selves. The author divides relationships into several stages, with the very first being the halo stage. This is a concept similar to the halo effect in psychology, where you perceive your partner as absolutely wonderful, as if you've finally found the ideal soulmate you've been searching for your whole life. In these days, people are convinced they are in love and being loved. But the truth is, this kind of love often serves only to satisfy unmet needs from our childhood. From the moment we are born, human beings have two fundamental cravings: a deep sense of belonging and a validation of ourselves. If a child doesn't fully receive one or both of these, they will spend their entire adult life searching for someone who can give them that feeling. The irony is that to attract others, people often pretend they already possess these very qualities. For instance, if you're drawn to a confident partner, you might think to yourself, a confident person wouldn't be attracted to someone insecure. As a result, you might force yourself to project an image of confidence, even if you feel anything but that on the inside. In this process, when the other person treats you with kindness and affection, you believe you've found true love. But it is crucial to remember that they are also searching for someone to meet their own unfulfilled needs. They, too, are wearing a mask. Therefore, during this initial stage of love, neither of you is genuinely loving the other's true essence. Instead, you are simply exchanging illusions, trying to soothe the unhealed wounds from your past. Eventually, the masks begin to fall, and that's when expectations arise. You start wanting to change your partner, to mold them into the person you thought they were. The book puts it starkly. Expectations are the road to hell. The more you expect from your partner, the more your subconscious reinforces the deep-seated belief that you are lacking love. The less you feel you have, the more desperately you crave it. This belief often has its roots buried deep in our childhood experiences, being pressured, controlled, or mentally hurt by our parents. Such experiences can lead you to believe, I didn't receive enough love from my parents. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding. Think about it. When you yourself become a parent, you may not always understand your child perfectly. You might say harsh words, intervene in their choices, or want them to follow the path you've laid out. Does this mean you don't love them? Of course not. You love your child deeply. But we must understand a simple truth. Everyone is a first-time parent. As the Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh beautifully said, parents are also just children who grew up with their own wounds. They, too, suffered and may not have known how to love or how to express the love they felt. It was not a lack of love, but a lack of skill. The Buddha taught that we are all innately complete. None of us is truly lacking love. That's why you must absolutely believe that you already possess love within you, and stop demanding that others fulfill your expectations. So, how do we let go of these expectations? The book explains that letting go doesn't come from reason or logic. It must come from a grateful heart. And this process doesn't start with gratitude for your partner. It begins with gratitude for your parents. Return to your childhood feelings. No matter what pain they may have caused, you can choose to understand, forgive, honor, and stop blaming them. Be grateful for their care, for giving you the gift of life, and for allowing you to be here, experiencing this world. Only through this profound gratitude can you truly come home, returning to the self that already carries an abundance of love. How can you know if you've truly let go? Look at your relationship with your partner. If you no longer find yourself thinking, why did he do this to me? Or if she really loved me, she would do that. And instead feel love flowing naturally and unconditionally between you, then you have succeeded. However, if you still feel heavy, keep score, or feel wronged and pitiful, then perhaps you haven't fully released your grip, even if you think you've let go. But then discover another layer of strong expectation hidden beneath the surface. It means you still need to continue practicing the art of release. True love is not a game of filling what is empty. It is the journey of returning to the wholeness that already exists within you. A poet once wrote, "You have cried enough. Now, open the door of your heart, for the whole universe is waiting inside." When you dare to shed the false halo, you will meet your beloved not through illusions, but through the authenticity of two awakened souls, like two mountains standing side by side, not leaning on each other to feel taller. Love is meeting at the core, not bargaining over wounds. Many people skip the first lesson of love and step directly into the second stage. Disillusionment. This is the period when two people grow closer, but it is also the time when conflicts and quarrels inevitably break out. It is in this challenging stage that distorted behaviors often emerge as warning signs of deeper troubles. The first is seeking attention, which can manifest as starting arguments over trivial, insignificant matters. The second is the power struggle, where each person stubbornly insists that the other must obey their will. The third is a revenge psychology, where one partner deliberately does things that they know will irritate the other. Finally, the fourth is selfish. This occurs when one person accepts that they cannot change the other, so they withdraw, bury their emotions, and retreat into the darkness of silence. But why is it that love cannot seem to avoid suffering? The psychologist Carl Jung once offered a profound insight. What we refuse to confront in ourselves will eventually become our destiny. Every quarrel is, in reality, the desperate cry of the wounded inner child hiding within you. When your partner's actions touch upon the unhealed scars of your childhood, your first instinct is often not to open your heart but to lash out in anger because you lack the courage to face the pain. Confronting those childhood wounds feels like standing in the middle of a raging storm. You fear being shattered into pieces. In that moment, anger towards your lover becomes a temporary, makeshift umbrella. Anger is seductive. It numbs the pain while deceiving you with a fleeting illusion of power. As the Buddha taught, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned, yet we often cling tightly to the role of the victim, using our rage to demand the recognition and validation we were denied as children. Sometimes, arguing with your lover is simply your inner child, the one who could not resist their parents long ago, now screaming at the top of their lungs. See me. Love me. I am right. At this critical juncture, a profound question arises. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? If you continue to fight and struggle for dominance in the relationship, you are essentially sacrificing your partner just to protect yourself. You are still avoiding the necessary work of facing your own childhood wounds. So, what is the true lesson to be learned in this stage of disillusionment? It is to see this period as a gift, not as a curse of fate. As the poet Rumi beautifully wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Strangely, when you finally summon the courage to face your pain, it transforms from an adversary into a teacher. This gift reveals a deep and powerful truth. Making a love or marriage better does not necessarily mean the two of you must stay together forever. A happy heart is not measured by the length of time you are together, but by the depth of your mutual understanding. If you can begin to see disillusionment as a gift, you embark on a path of profound personal growth. You start learning to communicate in a way that satisfies both your needs and your partner's, treating each other's joy and happiness as equal priorities. At the same time, you come to a crucial understanding. If you are only forcing yourself to stay, constantly feeling deprived and unfulfilled, it may be healthier to end a relationship. Separation can be an act of love, a moment when both partners realize they cannot meet each other's needs, that their personalities clash, and that staying together only brings more harm. Sometimes, letting go is the most beautiful and honorable way to respect the love that once was. Every river must eventually reach the ocean, but not all riverbanks are destined to walk the entire journey side by side. To cling to a relationship out of a deep-seated fear of loss is like trying to hold sand tightly in your fist. The more you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. When love becomes a battle of all or nothing, and you believe, I must have this person, only being together forever will bring complete happiness, you unintentionally become the director of your own tragedy of ignorance. In this play, you either fall into patterns of manipulation and distorted behaviors, or you silently surrender, which is not liberation, but a prison you built for yourself. Many people choose to stay together for the sake of their children, but do not use your children as an excuse to turn the family home into a prison without bars. As the writer Khalil Gibran wisely said, your children are not your children. They come through you, but not from you. They don't need perfect parents. They need parents who are brave enough to live their lives authentically. A child raised in a loveless home carries inherited wounds, like a seed sprouting in darkness, struggling to grow only to become a twisted, stunted tree. That is why so many encourage us to learn to let go. Letting go is not a sign of failure. It is an act of immense courage. It is the power to rewrite your own destiny. As a Japanese proverb reminds us, the fallen blossom does not regret it has given all its fragrance to life. Sometimes true love means having the courage to say goodbye, not because the love is gone, but because you want to give each other the chance to find a sky wide enough to fly, to grow, and to fulfill the sacred lessons of life. The journey of growth is a passage from darkness toward light, and after accepting disillusionment, one can finally move on to the stage of reflection. This stage is often described as the longest night of the soul, a period where you must confront the cracks and shadows you have long avoided. As the great philosopher Socrates once said, the unexamined life is not worth living. Reflection, therefore, is the very doorway that leads us to meet the truest, most authentic version of ourselves. Along this introspective journey, you will likely recognize 3 recurring roles that manifest within relationships: the victim, the persecutor, and the rescuer. The first of these, the victim, is a role defined by constant complaint, a state of being where one drowns in blame directed at others. The second role, the persecutor, is one who channels their pain into a weapon, lashing out at their partner or, in so many cases, even at themselves. The haunting image of someone slapping their own face or banging their head against a wall in a fit of rage is stark proof of darkness holding dominion over the soul. The final role is the rescuer. While appearing noble on the surface, this is, in fact, a subtle trap. The rescuer takes on the burdens of others, preventing them from learning to stand on their own 2 feet. These 3 roles are not isolated. They intertwine to create a painful triangle of entanglement. Many couples find themselves trapped in this dark dance, constantly switching between the roles. One partner becomes the persecutor while the other plays the victim, and then, in a dizzying turn, they swap places. This dynamic can even manifest when both partners adopt the rescuer role, excessively focusing on their children, which inadvertently casts the child as the persecuted one. To break free from this labyrinthine trap, one must courageously pursue the truth and overcome 5 powerful psychological hurdles. The first of these is blind loyalty to one's family of origin. Many people sacrifice their own happiness by placing their family's opinions above all else. They might even go so far as to destroy their marriage to protect the family's honor, embodying the bitter sentiment, "Whether my wife is right or wrong, I will always stand with my parents." Such unconscious loyalty traps them in a cycle, forcing them to become replicas of the toxic patterns they inherited from their own parents in childhood. The second trap is the martyrdom mentality. When love transforms into a heavy burden and every action feels like a sacrifice, you are, in fact, unconsciously creating a demanding partner. Silent endurance does not foster gratitude. It breeds endless demands. If you find yourself doing things for your partner without a sense of joy, you are caught in the throes of martyrdom, and the relationship itself becomes a weighty cross to bear. Dependency is the third trap. This can manifest in various ways. Sometimes men depend on women, and other times the reverse is true. They fall into the belief that they cannot possibly live without the other person. This pattern isn't limited to romantic partners. Parents may also become dependent on their children, constantly yielding to their demands to keep them happy. But if a sense of belonging is contingent on someone else's constant effort, it signifies a loss of the inherent wholeness that already exists within. The fourth psychological trap is projection. Often, the very things we most despise in our partners are a direct reflection of what we deny within ourselves. As the renowned psychologist Carl Jung asserted, what we reject in ourselves appears in the image of what we hate in others. If you find yourself constantly criticizing your partner for being selfish, it may be time to examine whether you are denying your own deep-rooted selfishness. Finally, there is the temptation of death. In the face of a broken marriage, some may see death as the only escape from their suffering. However, this is merely an illusion of pain. Do not let the darkness swallow your hope. Choosing to end one's life is not a final escape. It is a guarantee that you will be forced to repeat the same painful lessons in lifetime after lifetime, never achieving true awakening. To overcome these traps on the arduous journey of love, you must integrate the lessons learned from earlier stages, engage in continuous reflection, and uphold several key principles. The first principle is not to fear disagreements. Instead, view them as gifts, precious opportunities to heal the childhood fears of lack and scarcity. As the Buddha taught, Affliction is the seed of enlightenment. The second principle is to step out of the simplistic framework of right and wrong. Look deeper into the unmet needs that lie beneath the surface of every conflict. And the final, most crucial principle is to take 100% responsibility. The Dhammapada states, "You are the heir of your karma." Once you realize that your marriage is a personal journey to confront your own inner self, you will accept full responsibility for everything that happens, without feeling hurt or abandoned by others. This path of reflection is not a road paved with roses. It is a rugged, often challenging journey through the night of the soul. But it is only by traversing this darkness that you can hope to find your own inner dawn. Like a lighthouse standing firm in the vast, stormy sea, your light will only truly shine when you dare to face yourself. In the journey of love, after navigating through the stages of connection, conflict, and commitment, you may arrive at the final, most profound stage enlightenment. This is the moment when love transcends mere emotion and transforms into the most beautiful, radiant light, and you begin to truly feel the stream of love flowing unconditionally within you. Enlightenment is not a distant goal or a fixed destination, but a state of profound awakening experienced amidst the ever-changing, impermanent nature of life. Its arrival is often sudden, unexpected, like a breathtaking sunrise that appears as if by a miracle. This awakening might be sparked by a single page in a book, a few heartfelt words exchanged with a loved one, or even a single tear that finally touches the hidden cracks of your soul, allowing the light to pour in. As the revered Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh taught, enlightenment is not something to be sought in the future. It is always available here and now. The only prerequisite is that we open our hearts fully to receive it. This philosophy does not present a rigid, step-by-step roadmap to illumination. Instead, it plants a powerful seed of faith within us. When we dare to live completely and wholeheartedly with love, the light will inevitably find its way to us. This journey is guided by a profound message, a philosophy of awakening that feels almost paradoxical. If you want to reach somewhere the fastest, the only way is that you are already there. This wisdom echoes the ancient teachings of Lao Tzu and his concept of Wu Wei, or non-doing, which suggests that true happiness is found not in striving or seeking, but in letting go and merging harmoniously with the flow of the universe. So, how can one practice already being there in a state of enlightenment? The path lies in several core practices. First, learn to treat love as an active verb, not a passive feeling. For instance, when a conflict arises between you and your partner, resist the urge to retreat into silence or engage in a heated argument. Instead, pause and ask yourself a simple yet transformative question. If I were acting from a place of pure love in this very moment, what would I do? The answer that emerges will not come from cold, hard reason, but from the warmth of your heart, guiding you toward a loving action. Perhaps it means cooking our favorite meal, holding him gently without a word, or simply offering your full presence and listening without judgment. The philosopher Erich Fromm captured this beautifully when he wrote, "Love is not a feeling, but a commitment nurtured through acts." Just as in the phenomenon of quantum tunneling, where nitrogen atoms possess enough energy to break through the hydrogen barrier, love provides the energy to transcend conflict. It elevates our emotional frequency to its highest level, allowing us to give proactively without demanding anything in return. Second, embrace the art of allowing. This principle, beautifully encapsulated in the Beatles' timeless song Let It Be, is not about indifference or passive resignation. It is about a deep and unwavering trust in the universal law of cause and effect. For example, when your wife comes to you and complains, "This is so tiring, and that is so troubling," your first instinct might be to rush in with solutions or join her in lamenting. Instead, try responding with two simple, powerful words. Allow it. What are you allowing? You are allowing the worry to arise and exist without resistance. You're allowing things to be exactly as they are in that moment. This practice extends to yourself as well. Whether you experience positive or negative emotions, allow them to come, and then quietly witness them without getting swept away. This reflects the Buddhist principle of accepting the Dharma, and what many spiritual teachers call surrender, letting go of resistance so your soul can flow in perfect harmony with the universe. In truth, letting go is not about losing something. It is about gaining a profound sense of stillness. It is simply seeing. When you can allow impermanence, you discover the freedom to live in alignment with the deepest essence of your soul. Finally, practice loving unconditionally. True enlightenment in a relationship blossoms when we release our demands and expectations, the constant pressure of you must be this way or I must be that way. When these conditions fall away, the space between two people naturally fills with the purest, most unfiltered energy of love. The great Chinese philosopher Wang Yangming referred to a similar concept as innate knowing, acting in natural harmony with one's conscience, free from the constraints of self-centered desires. For instance, when a wife cooks a meal for her husband, not for praise or to be rewarded, but simply for the pure joy of giving warmth and nourishment, that is a manifestation of unconditional love. It is crucial to remember that enlightenment is not a permanent, static state. It is a series of fleeting, precious moments when you suddenly touch the core of your own soul, like a single wave dissolving back into the vastness of the ocean, or a bird spreading its wings and merging with the endless blue sky. When you dare to love with full awareness, every challenge, every hardship, and every moment of connection is transformed into a miracle, illuminating the path ahead. Love needs no wings, for it is already the sky. Through these 4 stages, I believe you now hold a deeper understanding of relationships, love, and marriage. You will realize a profound truth. We often seek a life partner simply to fill the emptiness within ourselves. By doing so, we place tremendous pressure on the other person. Yet changing them is almost impossible, and that is the very root cause of conflicts. When disappointment accumulates, marriage can turn into a cage that imprisons both souls. The only way to break free from that cage, to awaken even within love itself, is through the courage to recognize that the true source of every problem lies within your own heart. The journey of love is like a boat crossing for great waves. From the radiant glow of passion to the bitter disillusionment, from the dark night of estrangement to the dawn of enlightenment, they are 2 sides of the same coin. You must bravely face the shadows to discover the light within. As Helen Keller once said, the most beautiful light is always found in the deepest darkness. When 2 souls dare to shed the armor of fear, they finally meet each other at the place of pure essence. May you have the courage to love with full awareness, so that every step you take leads you closer to your true self. Thank you for listening. If you found this video meaningful, please share it with those who might need it. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our weekly videos. Once again, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.